I am just home from vacation and I went to Crazy Horse, South Dakota. And I wanted to share this with you because I was so inspired by this man. His name is Korchak Jolkowski, and he is the sculptor of Crazy Horse. He is the one who had the vision and the tenacity and the determination to pay homage to the famous Indian Crazy Horse. And so he wanted to do a very large, grand sculpture in a mountainside. So let me show that to you. This is the Crazy Horse Memorial. Now, most of you, I think, are very familiar with Mount Rushmore, and even if you haven't seen it, you know it is a massive sculpture in the side of a mountain. Well, to give you a perspective of how large Crazy Horse is, I want to show you that right here in Crazy Horse's hair, that section right there, all of Mount Rushmore would fit into that. That is how massive this memorial is and is going to be. So why am I so inspired? Well, we learned while we were there that this man spent 7 years by himself starting this project, and he climbed up and down wooden ladders carrying 50 pounds of dynamite on his shoulders to blast this mountain and to begin the sculpture. 7 years. I just can't even imagine that. And how many failures he had, they told us about, and how many times he would go up and down that ladder because his machinery at the bottom would stop working. And one day he said it was 9 times that he had to do that. And I'm sure this was no short ladder. This is a very massive mountainside. And so how did this happen? How did this man get this vision and the tenacity to stick with it and make it happen? Because I want you to know what you see here, this has taken 68 years just to accomplish his face. That part is his face, this is his arm, and they've gotten a finger pretty much finished. And yet, as you can see on the model, it's going to be Crazy Horse from the bust up and the whole horse. I mean, it's just massive. I just can't find a better word besides massive. So how did he get the vision and the tenacity to take on something like this that he had to know he would never finish in his lifetime? I believe it came from God. You see, God created us, and I believe he created our characteristics and our personality and what is within us. And so I believe he gave this man that tenacity and that vision. And it's carrying on because his children are keeping it going. They're going to keep working to get this completed, and we probably won't even see it in our lifetime. Possibly our children may see it, but even they may not. It may be our grandchildren who will see the finished Crazy Horse Memorial. And so as I walked through and around and I learned about this man and this memorial, I really pondered it, and I just was so inspired by his dedication and by that vision and that tenacity. And I kind of looked at myself, and you know, when I went through my depression in 2014, the Lord called me to write my book, He Enriched My Life by the Death I Suffered, Learning to Trust God Through Depression. And that took some tenacity. It took some vision. Nothing in my mind compared to this, but still, you know, it was in there, and God drew it out of me to do what he called me to do. And then he called me to begin this ministry of Living Hope. And I go out and I speak and I share and I do these vlogs. And that took some vision, and it's taken some tenacity. It's not always been easy, but nothing that we do, especially to honor God, is necessarily going to be easy. You know, these big tasks, they're sometimes just hard. But God equips us, and he gives us what we need to do what he calls us to do. So I believe, of course, that he has a plan for each and every one of us and a purpose for our lives. So I think for you, he's given you a level of tenacity and a measure of vision so that you can accomplish what he wants you to do for him. Now, we all have the same primary purpose, to glorify God. And we all have the same primary task, and that's to tell others the good news of Jesus Christ. But then beyond that, you know, we have individual calls in our lives, individual plans and purposes of the Lord. And so what is yours? Has He been calling you to do something that you have thought, you don't have what it takes? Well, what's that old saying? God doesn't call the equipped, He equips the called. Well, it's true. And so dig in. Dig into that tenacity and that vision that the Lord has planted within you, and trust Him, and He will take you through and show you the way and just provide all you need, just as He's done for me. And I believe just as He's done for this man. Even though I've never heard anything that Korchak Jolkowski was doing this for the Lord, but still, I believe it all came from God. Now, at the introduction of this video on Facebook, you saw that there's a contest, and I told you when you got to the end that you would learn how to enter this contest and how to win the prize. Well, the prize is a copy of my book, and the way that you can enter the drawing is to just share this video on Facebook. Click the share button, your name will be entered, and on October 11th, I will draw one name, and that person will receive the book. I will send it to you. And this is just my way of celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the publication of my book, and saying thank you to all of you for your encouragement, for your support, for your prayers, and for your love. So thank you. My name is Candy Rice. I am the author of He Enriched My Life by the Death I Suffered, and the founder of Living Hope. And this is a ministry where I share the physical, mental, and spiritual healing truths that God taught me as I went through and came out of depression through His healing hand. If you'd like me to share my story at your church, at your conference, at a retreat, a meeting, just contact me. You can reach me at candyrice.org, or you can reach me through Facebook, and we will get that set up. Be blessed today and dig in to your tenacity and your vision.